G'day and welcome to another Pokemon Go video, and if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below. Otherwise, we're going to jump into PvP, and as you can see, all leagues are open, but we're going to jump into the Great League. The team I'm going to be running is Altaria with Dragon Breath, Sky Attack, and Moonblast. Lanturn with Water Gun, Surf, and Thunderbolt. So Water Gun as the fast move has a bit more play against the ground types, and then Registeel. So lock on, Zap Cannon, and Focus Blast. So other than the water gun as the fast move, nothing too outrageous there. So we'll jump into this first game and see what we get. So Altaria on the lead. Obviously, you don't want to come up against anything with ice. That's going to be real bad. And Fairy's going to be pretty bad as well, to be honest, because it's running Dragon Breath. So on the first one, we've got Runerigus, and we're going to have to be careful of the Shadow Balls here. So blah, 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 blah. Takes 7 Shadow Balls, 7 Shadow Claws to get to the Shadow Ball, and 5 to get to the Sand Tomb. So you really don't want to be baited. Sand Tomb on this would be absolutely brutal here. So for this, I'm just going to let it go. They let theirs go as well, so I do suspect, yeah, it is a Shadow Ball coming through, which is absolutely fine. And then going to look to farm down. Can they get to another one? It looks like they can. So here, question is, are they going to bait? And I'm just going to let this go. And it is a Shadow Ball, so they are going to take this match. But we do have equal shields. And then this is where the water gun came in a little bit handy, although if I had have had an electric type fast move, I would have got more farm and it would have been much better against the Tentacruel that came in. So not ideal here. So they're going to be running Scold and probably the Acid Spray. Yep, and there's the Acid Spray coming through. And the question will be, will they double Acid Spray me, or will they Acid Spray me and then Scald me? I mean, we're just going to have to wait and find out, aren't we? So get to the Thunderbolt, and they decide to no shield, which is, well, they decide to shield that up, which is fine. They're going to be throwing another charge move, and it's another Acid Spray, so that is huge. So going to be looking to farm up the energy to get to a Thunderbolt, and then I'm going to swap out. Let this one through. Expect it to be an Acid Spray, but it is not. It's a Scald coming through, but that's fine. We'll look to just completely go to town and able to get to the Acid Spray before they're able to get to another charge move, which is really, really nice because obviously that's going to be putting them in, well, a tricky spot. So they either shield that up or they let it go, and they've decided to let it go. And in the back, we've got Noctowl. So Noctowl is actually a really good Pokemon. The problem here is for them, I've got a Lanturn with Thunderbolt and a Registeel with Zap Cannon, so going to be able to do some damage. So we'll see if they can, if I can get the Zap Cannon to debuff as well. Let's see if we get a debuff, and we do. We get the debuff, and this is GG's. I'm not I'm surprised they didn't shield that up, but again, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so able to get to the next Zap Cannon, which is absolutely outstanding. And they, at this point, yeah, they just let it go. They know this is GG's, so let it go, and able to take the game, which is really, really good. However, my Lanturn with Spark would have been really good against their backline. So whether it's a good thing or not, we'll wait to see. So Umbreon on the lead. And Umbreon's a bit of an annoying one. It's going to take 4 to get to a foul play, and then 3, so it's just super spammy and super bulky. They don't do a huge amount of damage, but as you can see, they're still going to do a little bit of a chip. And the question here is, most Umbreon players do not like to shield, so I'm just going to go straight Moonblast here and see if we can do a huge amount of damage. Unfortunately, they've decided to shield, which is not ideal for me, but it's going to have to, well, it is what it is, and it's a good shield by them because that would have done huge amounts of damage. So the question now is, do I try and get to another Moonblast? Oof, and they're just so spammy with those charge moves, and they don't do much damage, but because there's just so many of them, they really do, yeah, put some pressure on. And I'll get to another one and Moonblast now. So I'm hoping that they don't want to double shield this thing up, but they might be happy to go down 2 shields, and they do. So they've double shielded the Umbreon, which is absolutely massive. Can I get to the Sky Attack? No, and I'm not going to shield this up. So unfortunately, this thing is not in range for Registeel to come in and lock it down, so I'm going to have to come in with Lanturn and try and do some chip damage with Water Gun, because I don't want to come in with Registeel and have to throw, well, lock on and then have to throw energy anyway. It's a bit of a waste, so come in with the Lanturn here and tank some of these moves. Lanturn is going to be all right at this. Again, Umbreon just doesn't have a very high attack stat. It is all bulk. So foul play's really coming through. So here, going to look to charge up to the Thunderbolt, and then we'll swap that out. So I've almost got 2 Surfs saved up. I will let this one go, and we'll see what they want to do. So foul play comes through, and now I'm in a position where I can lock on farm them down, but they decide to swap out, and they swap into a Venusaur. What on earth do they have in the back that is Venusaur's their best answer to a Registeel? So here I'm just curious as to what it is, because obviously, why would they not want Venusaur matched up against my Lanturn? It completely hard walls it, but I mean, it is what it is. So out comes my Zap Cannon, able to get the debuff again. And here I think, do I want to shield this up? I'm not going to shield it up because they're debuffed now. They shouldn't be doing enough damage. I'm going to over farm just a little bit here, and I'm going to throw the Focus Blast. So both moves are going to be resisted. Focus Blast obviously is less energy to throw, and I'm hoping I'm able to take them out, and I am. So just able to take them out, and we'll see what comes out in the back. So they have a Skarmory in the back, which really explains why they did not want to. And what I've got to do here is make sure they don't catch on their Umbreon. So I throw in the middle of one of their fast moves so they can't swap out. So throw the middle of an Air Slash so they can't swap out. They're going to come through. And that was too quick to be a Brave Bird, so I'm actually going to no shield this, because Sky Attacks just don't do very much damage against against Umbreon, against Lanturn. They come in with the Umbreon, I farm down, and then I'm going to be able to throw this Thunderbolt, and that's going to be a good game. So yeah, they really did not have a good matchup for my Registeel, considering the Venusaur was the best play for that. So we'll jump into the next one. So able to get that win on the board as well. Not a great lead, but they went down 2 shields. Even if they didn't, they're probably in a tough spot. Yeah, so a difficult one. So Medicham on the lead, so it's going to have probably Ice Punch and Psychic, and I'm going to let this first one go in case it is running Power Up Punch and they're Power Up Punching me, but no, they are running Ice Punch, which is really unfortunate. And I'm going to, oh, they've swapped into their Altaria, so I'm going to bank a move and swap into my Registeel here, because Registeel completely hard walls this thing, so it's absolutely outstanding. So possibly I should have done a little bit more damage with my own Altaria before coming in with the Reggie, and the reason for that is because you're about to see where this ends up. So it's not really within range of farming down here. So had I, yeah, possibly come in with something that was a little bit better, might have been, yeah, been the play to come in with, do a little bit more chip damage with Dragon Breaths, and then my Dragonite would have been able to. The other mistake I make here is throwing a throwing a Zap Cannon. I should have just thrown the Focus Blast there. It's going to be enough to take it out, and then I would have had more energy against the Medicham. I'm don't pay for it in this instance because I'm just able to get to the Zap Cannon here. But had I not been able to get to the Zap Cannon, that focus, I would have been able to throw the Focus Blast. The Focus Blast obviously uses less energy, so I would have been able to throw that earlier. So yeah, but didn't make me pay in this instance, only just though. So Ice Punch comes through. Unfortunately, we CMP tie, and I'm going to throw my Sky Attack here, and we'll see what they want to do. So expecting them to let this one go, but they don't. They shield it up, and we both swap at the same time into. They swap into a Azumarill, I swap into my Lantern, and this is looking okay. So the issue here is Azumarill is normally going, well, it could be running Play Rough. Most of them do run Play Rough, and this one is one of those. If it was running Ice Beam and Hydro Pump, this would have been absolutely spectacular, but because it's Play Rough, it's a little bit more awkward. And because I'm running Water Gun instead of Spark, this isn't as good a matchup either because I can't really fast move farm them down, which is really annoying. So in this instance, 100% would have been better for Spark to be running than Water Gun, but I mean, it is what it is. Another Play Rough comes through, and as you can see, does do quite a bit of damage. And here I've just got to be careful that they don't try and catch. So I want to throw early enough that the switch clock is not up, and I'll be throwing the Surf to see if that does enough damage. It doesn't quite do enough damage, but they do swap out into the Medicham, and I'm just able to get to the Thunderbolt. So again, another one that is just able to get there. Absolutely outstanding. And then going to look to come in with the Altaria. They're going to throw a move, and obviously I need to shield this up. And they're very close to having a Ice Beam on their Azumarill. I think they might be one bubble away, so we need to try and take them out before they're able to get there, and we're able to do it. So very, very close game there, and would have been nowhere near as close had I had Spark on the Lantern. That game would have been well and truly over, and no stress whatsoever. But still able to get the win, and we jump into the next one, and that's Toxicroak on the lead. So they come in with the Drapion, and I'm going to swap into the Registeel here, because obviously Registeel has a worse matchup against the Toxicroak, and my Lantern will be okay. Mud Bombs are going to do a bit of damage, but it is Registeel. The counters are going to be adding up as well. So they throw two crunches here, so I'm going to, well, no shield the first one, and I'm going to shield up the second one because I don't want to be too weak, and then get to my move at the same time, which is unfortunate, but it's absolutely fine. Their fast moves do nothing to me, so now I'm going to be looking to just completely farm down. They're going to get to another crunch, which is fine, but because they've been debuffed now, it's just going to do no damage here. And Drapion's not incredibly bulky, so yeah, I can afford to farm down because I need to have energy. Well, not need to, want to have energy to throw against the uh, when they bring their Toxicroak back out, but they don't. They come out with a Trevenant, which is interesting. So I'm going to swap into my Altaria because they can't really swap out of a Trevenant into a Toxicroak, and because they've been debuffed, I'm going to let this one go, and it's a Seed Bomb bait. That's really bad for them, and they know it, so off they go, and able to win 4 games. And so funnily enough, the first game that I played, I didn't actually record, and it was with the same team, but I forgot to change my Lantern's fast move, so it was running Spark, and I lost the first game because I encountered a Swampert, and I just had nothing that I could do against that. It was just too oppressive for both my Lantern and my Registeel running Spark, and so I swapped to the Water Gun to have a little bit more coverage over that, and then the next 4 games would have been better to be running Spark instead of Water Gun, but I mean, I was still able to win them, so happy days, and able to go 4-1, catch that Pokemon Go to 2440. Um, Around the mid 2400s is where I've sort of been sitting at, unable to break that 2500 barrier, unfortunately. That's it for now. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Thanks for watching.